Awesome. And let me stop the share. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We are so excited to bring you this training. I will tell you, the Gut Harmony Duo is so weeping across the nation. Well, my name is Crystal Thurber. I'm coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona. And again, I just want to welcome you and thank you so much for taking time out of your evening tonight to join us, because Rob and I both, and many of you on here, are over the top of what is happening for people with this duo. It is truly an innovative product that has clinically proven ingredients, and it's taken our company Bravenly to the next level. Now, real quick, for me personally, I just want to share with you guys, I got on this product not expecting anything specific to happen because I'm already a healthy person. I already eat right. I didn't really quote have any issues except for after Christmas. I had been experiencing a lot of bloating, and I didn't know why. I got on this product, and much to my surprise, the bloating went away. I lost 6.5 pounds in 9 days. And today I just measured and I've lost an inch and a half off my waist and my hips. So I am blown away. But this is not about me tonight. We brought you on here so you can hear from one of my fantastic friends. You read some of her stats on that slide if you got on here early, and that is my friend Robin. Robin and I have been friends, I don't even know how long, 25 years. We go way back. And I'm going to tell you guys, she is a special doctor. Okay, why do I say that? Because she has a way of sharing things with you that you can understand. Okay, some of it might go over your head. I mean, that's normal, right? But let me tell you something. Robin is a retired naturopathic doctor. She's also a certified personal trainer. She doesn't do that anymore either, though. She has been in this space for 35 years, and she's absolutely passionate about helping people be the healthiest they can be. And she has spent hours and hours and hours preparing for tonight. Okay. And some of the stuff she told me that she found when she deep dived, I was like, we literally have a gold mine in this product. Like, I still am mind blown. I keep forgetting to tell my husband, but I am mind blown about what we have here. So we are recording this, so you will be able to get the recording. So with that, Robin, I am just going to hand it over to you and let you take it away, my friend.
You turned my audio on. Thank you so much for having me on tonight. I am so excited to share more with you guys about the importance of gut health because even though it may not rank as the single most top concern, I think out there, like heart disease and maybe weight loss, it is now one of the most talked about and fastest growing health priorities in the whole United States. Okay. So over 80% of people say that digestive health is important to their overall well-being, and two-thirds of those people deal with digestive system symptoms. I can't even talk. Symptoms like bloating and sometimes some kind of discomfort, okay? And that tells us something really important. It tells us that a lot of people are struggling with their gut, even if they don't always talk about it. And that's another reason why I'm so excited to be able to share more about this incredible, innovative, one-of-a-kind gut system that every single person that has already started on it is absolutely raving about. Because what Bravenly has introduced with this Gut Harmony Duo is absolutely incredible, okay? They have made it so easy to address getting our gut in check, to start building a healthy microbiome. Okay, so let's dive right in. I want you guys to take notes because I'm going to give you a lot of information that maybe in the beginning is not going to make a lot of sense. Okay, but you can go back and you can look at your notes and it will make sense as we go along. So, what is a microbiome? You may be asking, right? Well, your microbiome is a community of like trillions of microorganisms that live in our body, like bacteria, we've got viruses, we've got fungi, and they particularly live in the gut. And that's what we're going to be talking about, okay? Because what they do is they contribute greatly to the health of our bodies in many, many different ways, okay? And how the microbiome works is very, very simple. It helps us to digest our food and the liquids that we drink. It's also going to help to synthesize all the vitamins and the minerals that we have in our food. It's going to help our immune system stay strong, and it also is going to help to maintain homeostasis in our bodies, which is very, very crucial for our health and wellness, okay? Now, it's often referred to, and you guys have probably heard this before, is it's often referred to as the second brain, right? Well, most recently, people are even calling it the first brain. And I'm going to tell you why. Is because it contains so many neurons in it. And what they do is they actually communicate with our brain and they influence a lot of things in our body. They influence our immune system, they influence our mood and our mental health. They're going to influence our energy levels that we have, even the metabolism that we have, okay, whether it's higher metabolism or a slower metabolism, maybe our skin health, and a whole lot more than that, okay? So when bacteria in the gut isn't balanced, it can create so many health issues that it can be very, very difficult to overcome them if you don't address them in a certain amount of time, okay? So I want to share an interesting fact with you. There was a survey that was done, and I'm gonna look at this because I want to look at my notes and make sure I get it right. There was a survey done last year of 2,000 people in the United States, okay? And what they found was that more than half of them believed that their GI issues that they had, like they had gas, they had bloating, and they had some stomach distress, okay? They thought those were just normal. Strange. Secondly, a number of those people said that they don't even know where to begin to address these issues. And thirdly, even more of those people said that they don't have time. They don't have time to address those issues. Now, how sad is that? Does that sound like where maybe some of you have been? I think it might, because you know what? A lot of times we get so busy, we just push everything over to the side and we push our own health over to the side. So that is where the products in the Gut Harmony Duo can come in, and they can be two of your very most valuable allies, and they can be one of the very best things that you ever do for yourself, okay? I'm going to explain them to you because I think it's going to be very important for you to know a little bit more about them. They come with two different multi-beneficial products, okay? We've got Renew, which is our prebiotic and our probiotic product. And then we've got Refresh, and Refresh is mostly considered to be the digestive enzyme product that we have. Okay, now remember what we have to do. We have to eat to live, but we also have to make sure that we are not just going to be eating anything, right? We have to be absorbing the nutrients from our foods and the supplements that we take, because otherwise, if we're not absorbing, our bodies are going to be considered, I guess, malnourished is the word. Okay. And that is what the registered trademark and clinically proven ingredients in these products were actually designed to do. So if you ever see that little registered trademark on things, and you'll see it, if you already have your product, you're going to see it on the back. If you don't, you'll see, you know what I'm talking about. But that means that they have been tested. They've been put through very rigorous double-blind placebo-studied trials, and you have something that has been clinically proven and it has been backed by science to work. So you guys, what Crystal said a minute ago is true. I was on the phone with her last night at midnight, and I have read all of the published clinical trials on these trademarked ingredients, and they are even more impressive than what I'm going to go over with you tonight, okay? I'm kind of a science nerd, and when it comes to formulations, I love to dive into the ingredients because I think they tell us so much about what these products are actually doing for us. So I'm going to talk a little bit about ingredients, which I normally don't do, but I'm going to talk about them with you because I think it's important for you to know what they do. Okay, so let's start with Renew. Okay, this is, remember, the probiotic product that we've got. So it's got a myriad of different probiotics in it, and that's good bacteria, just so you know. That's what a probiotic is, it's good bacteria. Now, with the 4 different strains, it's got 4 different strains of lactobacillus. And 3 of these are part of the proprietary and trademarked blend called Synb Active Medicine Blend. And it's been formulated specifically to improve key metabolic and inflammatory markers that are in the body. So in layman's terms, what that's going to mean is here's what they do. When these little guys arrive in the gut, they basically are going to push out the bad guys. Okay, they're going to take up space where the harmful bacteria is, and it's going to make sure that they have less room to grow. And then they're also going to help your body to break down food a little bit better. Okay. So because food is broken down, when it's broken down properly, you are much less likely to feel gassy or backed up or even overly bloated. The probiotics are also going to calm irritation that you might have in your gut lining. Because listen to this, if your gut lining is inflamed or irritated in any way, these strains, what they're going to do is they're going to go in and they're going to help to kind of soothe it and help to support it. And then they're also going to support your immune system. Because remember, a big portion of your immune system lies in your gut. Remember, that's where all that bacteria is. And when your gut is balanced, your immune system is going to work a lot better and a lot more smoothly. And because your gut talks to your brain, it's going to help with feelings of fullness as well as any cravings that you might have. Okay. And then because the gut, when it's balanced, a lot of things happen with that. Hunger and fullness signals are going to work better. And then that can help with appetite control. That's great. And these clinical studies on this trademarked ingredient that I told you about, that medicine that's in here, have shown that there has been a reduction of the visceral adipose index. Now, I know that doesn't make any sense to you, but what adipose tissue is that's the tissue, the fat that actually is in our bodies. It has to be there. It's not bad, but it's what is surrounding our organs inside our abdominal cavity, okay? So what it has done, what this particular ingredient does is that it has shown a reduction in that visceral adipose index and therefore waist circumference. So that's why I think you guys are seeing a lot of, testimonials that we're posting right now and showing people's waist measurements. It looks like they're really dropping. That's because this is really going in and doing what it's supposed to do. Okay. Now, secondly, in this formula, we've got some spore-based probiotics. Now, those are the really tough probiotics. These are the ones that are you'll see the word on here. It's called the bacillus strains. Okay. Now, what they do is they actually will survive stomach acid very well. And what they do is they go down and they help to reset that gut environment. Okay. They're especially helpful if your digestion has been off for a while, like maybe you have had a looser bowel, or maybe you've had things like constipation issues. So you want to think of those bacteria, those probiotics, as the cleanup crew. Okay. They're going to go in and they're going to help to reduce gas. They're going to help to reduce burping. They're going to help to reduce bloating, and they're going to actually support the digestive balance and help with regularity, whether that's too little or too much on your bowel movements. Okay, so that is going to help a lot there. Then another ingredient that it's got is called Gut Guard. Now, that is a specially clinically proven licorice root extract. And what that does is that helps to soothe the stomach lining. It also helps to soothe the lining in the upper stomach and any discomfort that you might have in the upper stomach. And then it's also going to support overall comfort and gut immunity. It's going to go down and it's going to help with the immunity. And then the last ingredient in here is going to be your inulin. Now, that is a prebiotic fiber. And what that does is that's just food. You're feeding the good bacteria. We have to feed it because it's a live organism, so it has to be fed. And when the good bacteria eat it, they actually will grow stronger and they're going to produce much more helpful compounds that are going to support regular bowel movements and reduce any kind of inflammatory conditions that you have in the gut that might be there. And it's also going to help to keep the colon healthy. Okay, so that's the probiotic. Okay, I'm going to put it over to the side. Let's go with the refresh. Okay, now let me tell you a little bit about each one of the ingredients in this product. Okay, first thing we've got in here is, once again, a registered trademark. It's called butyrogen. I can't ever say it. Butyrogen. This is a clinically tested, it's a prebiotic that actually is going to generate a substance called butyrate. And what butyrate does in our body is it feeds and it repairs the cells that are going to line the small intestine. It's going to create tight junctions in there, and it's going to reduce permeability. Okay, so it reduces the gases and things from escaping from those intestines. And then after that, what it does is it travels down and it feeds the bacteria that's down in the large intestine. I mean, this is amazing. Then we've also got 4 different digestive enzymes in here. And what they do is they help your body to actually digest the food that you're eating. So it doesn't just sit there and cause bloating. How many of you have had large meals where you feel like you just don't digest your food, right? You just sit there and you just feel so bloated. Well, that's what these enzymes are going to do. You've got protease for protein. They all kind of match up with what they go to. You've got lipase for fats or lipids. Then you've got amylase for carbs. And then there's another one in here that is actually going to combat the gas from certain foods that we eat, like beans, legumes, any kind of a cruciferous vegetable like broccoli or cauliflower or cabbage. And I'm sure that you guys have probably heard of that product. It's been around a long, long time called Beano, right? Now, the enzyme that I'm talking about is actually the active ingredient that they put in Beano. Okay, so it's also in here. So it's going to help tremendously with that. Now, understand this is that food has to be broken down properly. And if it's not, what's it going to do? It's going to sit there and it's going to ferment. And as it ferments, that's what is actually going to be causing a lot of the gas and discomfort that you might have. Okay, so we have a lot of other ingredients in here too that are going to be considered a soothing blend. And that's going to be things like you've probably heard of these before. Hang on, let me look. Ginger, peppermint, and aloe. And as well, we've got another product in here called chitosan. And what those do is they help your stomach to feel a lot calmer and they help your stomach to feel a lot less irritated. Okay, and then there's one more product in here or ingredient in here, and it is called Pepsin GI. Now, this is a special formulation of zinc carnosine. Okay, now if you're just taking zinc, which many of you probably are in your little vitamin packs, this is not the same thing. Okay, this is completely different because what this does is it provides specialized support for the entire upper digestive system. It starts, well, it's for the lining of the digestive system and it keeps it from being irritated. And it goes all the way from the throat through the esophagus, and then it goes all the way down to the small intestine. So think about that. I mean, we've got a lot of lining there that we're trying to protect, right? So a lot of times you can feel, burning sensations and things like that. So this is going to help to protect that lining there. So in very simple terms, what I want to explain to you is this is how the products are going to work together. The Renew, once again, is your probiotic and prebiotic formula. Okay. And once this formula reaches the gut, it is going to work to balance that bacteria. It's going to also help partially to digest your food better too. It's going to reduce bloating and discomfort. Remember the other thing, it's going to support regularity. It is going to help your gut to communicate better with the rest of your body. Okay. Remember your brain, your gut brain connection. And it's not just adding bacteria. Okay. It's helping to create a much healthier environment inside your entire digestive system. And then let's talk about refresh. Now, once again, it helps you to digest food better. It's going to help calm any kind of irritation that you have. It is also going to help to repair and strengthen your gut lining. And then it's also going to create a better environment for that good bacteria to thrive all the way through the system. But some people have asked me, what if I only wanted to add in the probiotics? Can I do that? Well, you can. You can. But I'm going to tell you this is if your digestion is weak, or maybe your gut lining might be a little bit irritated, then your results might be a little bit slower. Okay. So just understand that. But when you combine them, what is going to happen is this is that remember, you're going to digest your food better. Remember that gas and bloating that is there, it's going to be reduced. You're going to be able to repair that gut lining, and the balance in the bacteria is going to be balanced throughout the entire intestinal tract. And that's why I would say together they're much more powerful than just taking one of them completely alone. Now, I've had questions too about the best time of day to take them. Okay, so let's talk about that. They can be taken together and they can be taken separately. Either one is fine. But remember this, and this is very, very important. Okay, the label directions state preferably with a meal. And there is a reason for that. Okay. I know most people, I think along the way, doctors have told them in the past, take your probiotics on an empty stomach. Well, it depends on the probiotic that it is. It depends on the actual strain. So I'm going to explain that to you a little, and then it maybe will make a little bit more sense to you why it says preferably with a meal. So for a formula like this, remember it's got those multiple strains of the lactobacillus that we talked about in the very, very beginning. Okay. And those are much more sensitive, I would say, to stomach acid. But they've also got in there, remember those spore-forming bacillus strains? Those are the ones that are naturally resilient to the stomach acid. So that's why it's better to take it with food, because if you think about it, the lactobacillus is going to have a much better survival rate when you do, because the stomach acid is naturally buffered when you have a little bit of food in the stomach. And the pH level is also going to be a little bit higher, which is going to mean it's going to be a much less, I would say, harsh environment, okay, for the bacteria. So they're more likely to survive that trip down to the intestines where you're actually wanting it to go. So just remember that since this formula contains both the sensitive and the resilient strains, taking it with meals is going to support the entire blend that we've got. That's why. All right. So a best practice for the Renew is, first of all, you want to take it at least once daily. It says take 1 to 2 times a day. Take it once daily, okay, at least. You want to probably take that with breakfast or lunch. And I recommend consistency, because I think consistency matters a lot more than the exact time of day that you're taking it, okay? And you're also going to want to make sure that you avoid taking it at the exact same time that you're drinking very hot beverages like coffee or tea, because that hot beverage going down at the same time with your capsule could kill off a lot of the bacteria that you're trying desperately to get down into your system. And you don't want to waste any of your product. Trust me, you do not want to waste it. So now let's talk about Refresh, okay? The best time to take Refresh. Now, remember what this is. This is a digestive enzyme. And because it contains digestive enzymes, it works best when food is actually present. So it's best to take it right at the beginning of one of those meals, just as you are beginning to eat. Don't let it go down and sit in your stomach with no food in your stomach. So don't take it that far ahead of time, because what happens is the enzymes, what they're doing is they're going to help to break down. Remember those macronutrients that we talked about. We've got fats, we've got carbohydrates, and we've got proteins. It's going to break those down. It's also going to reduce the gas from those certain foods that you're eating. And it's also going to improve how completely you digest your meal. So once again, if you take it on an empty stomach, the enzymes don't have much to work on. It's just going to sit there and it's going to pass through on down into the small intestine and not with the food. So most people tend to do best by taking it with their lunch or dinner, because that is typically one of your 2 largest meals of the day. Now, if breakfast is your largest meal, by all means, certainly, you can certainly take it whenever you want to. You can take it whenever you want to, no matter what. But it's just, I think it's best to suggest taking that with your largest meal of the day. Another question people keep giving me is this, or keep asking me, is that can they be taken together at the same time? Yes, they actually can. And they actually complement each other really, really well, because together they're going to support that better digestion. They're going to both reduce that bloating, and they're going to help with that stronger gut lining and that bacteria balance too. So either way is fine, but a simple plan is, for the best way to take it would be, maybe let me give you an option. Take both of them together at the beginning of a meal, 1 time a day. You pick the meal. You pick the meal. They both go down at the same time. Very, very simple. A second option might be, if you have a sensitive stomach, like with foods and things like that, take your Renew first thing in the morning with your breakfast, and then take your Refresh, which once again, the digestive enzyme, with your lunch or dinner. But either way works. Remember this, is that consistency, taking it on a daily basis, is going to matter much more than the exact timing of the day that you take it. And of course, everybody's system is different. You guys can play around with the best timing of the day that works best for you, and then you can make that decision yourself. And sometimes it does, it takes a little tweaking, okay? Now, I want to bring something else up, okay? Because I want everybody to understand that you may have a very short adjustment period when you start the system, okay? When you introduce new prebiotics and probiotics and postbiotics, what you're doing is you are literally, you're actually changing the entire ecosystem of the bacteria that's in your gut. Those bacteria are living organisms, okay? And you have just totally disrupted it because you've changed it. And like any ecosystem, it's going to take time to rebalance it. So there's some things that maybe you can do during this adjustment time. Some people are going to experience things. I'm going to tell you some things that may happen. They may or may not. I don't know. You may have mild bloating. Maybe. You may have a little bit of extra gas. You may have a little slower digestion. You may even have some temporary constipation or maybe some reflux. I don't know. But that does not mean that something is wrong. It's going to depend on your system and how your system has been for probably years. It doesn't mean that anything is wrong. It usually just means that your microbiome is actually reorganizing and it's actually adapting to those new bacterial strains that you're putting in there, as well as those prebiotic fibers that you're adding in. So for most people, that adjustment period is only going to be about 7 to 14 days. And some people never even have an adjustment period. Some people never even experience anything that I've just said. But what happens during those 7 to 14 days is the gut bacteria is going to recalibrate in your body. So a few things that you can do to combat those are going to be drinking plenty of water. I always teach this is that your rule of thumb is going to be drinking half your weight in ounces, but never over a gallon a day. You want to keep it under a gallon or right at a gallon, half your weight in ounces. Okay, keep moving, keep walking because walking is going to help digestion a lot. Movement always helps. And stay consistent instead of stopping and starting your products. Don't go, oh my gosh, this isn't working for me, or, oh, I forgot. You just have to remember. Maybe you have to set your timer on your phone to remember when to take it. Your gut microbiome is incredibly intelligent. It is so intelligent that sometimes it just needs a little time to catch up with the changes that you've made. And when it does, I'm going to tell you guys, that is when the real benefits are going to start happening. And I'm going to close. I try to keep this for 30 minutes, but I'm going to close by saying this is that gut health really works best when we support the body from, I would say, multiple angles. You've got nutrition, you've got hydration, you've got supplementation. There's a lot of things we have to do to keep our bodies healthy. And yes, we do have complementary products here at Bravenly that address lots of different things. We address energy, mental focus, sleep, hormone support, lots of different things. But tonight, I mainly wanted to focus strictly on this brand new gut duo because every single thing that we talk about is about absorption in our body. That is what it is about. And you know what? I printed this off. I wanted to show you. We even have a free gut harmony guide, duo guide, to help you maximize your results. And it is so helpful. It helps you to follow along, know what to eat, know what to do. So if you have not already gotten started on this incredible system, I hope you will today. Okay. I really hope you will today. And I can't wait to see some of the transformation pictures. All of the testimonials are just absolutely incredible. And I have enjoyed so much being here with all of you this evening. And I want to encourage you to please get back with the person who invited you tonight. They invited you for a reason because they cared about you. And they are going to be able to answer all of your questions and they're going to be able to help you get started on a journey to better gut health and a much happier life. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you this, and this is so true. When you feel better, you do better. You really do. And I know you guys are going to do great. So I want to tell you good night. And I hope that you guys have an absolutely wonderful evening. And thank you again for having me. Bye.
Thank you, Robin. That was absolutely incredible, you guys. I learned something new every single time she talks. Okay, every single time. So I'm going to reiterate what Robin said. Please immediately get back with the person that invited you on this Zoom tonight if you have not purchased your duo, because there's several different options for you to purchase it. If you're brand new to Bravenly and you've never, ever tried anything, you're more than likely gonna get signed up as a VIP customer. It's going to allow you to get a discount on the products. You can also choose to be a brand partner. It's up to you, however you choose. We're not going to get into all of that right now. The number one thing is our heart is to help. Let's put a heart in front of your gut, right? Because Robin and I have said it for years. When your entire GI tract is tuned up, you just feel better, period. Like you are just going to have a better life. Okay. It is amazing the difference. And ladies and gents, the older we get, Robin and I have talked about this. Marcy and I have talked about this. A lot of us, as we age, I'll be 60 this month. Things that never used to bother our stomach does. You can't eat the same things. You don't digest the same way because guess what? Our GI tract is aging along with us. And so this has made me feel like I've gone back to where I had the GI tract more in my 30s and 40s. Now I don't eat bad, but still it's digesting so much better. I cannot emphasize enough that you get on both of these guys, okay? I cannot emphasize that enough. All right. So thank you again, Robin. We appreciate you guys so much. We're right at our 30 minutes. God bless you all and good night.